Boom. All right. So, what are we talking about today? For the 33, 35. Okay, people getting on, people getting on. Good. What are we talking about today? Anybody know? Or you just show up ready to roll? Military stuff. Okay. Before we get into that, I want to remind you guys why we're here. Okay. I told or I sent our base a little bit of a recording yesterday. We are here to pay death claims. Plain and simple. You are here to pay a death claim. You are here to help a family in a time of grief walk through that without an issue. Do it for them. My, well, not like one of, right? One of my mentors, one of my instructor pilots from when I was a young, like baby lieutenant, when we first came into the business, he was one of our very first clients. He and his wife, and now him, his wife, and all of their kids are clients. Unfortunately, he just passed away. He had been struggling for almost 3 years with a fight against cancer. Luckily, we got him covered before all of that, right? He just passed away the first of this month. I just met with his wife yesterday because she wasn't ready to deal with anything, right? They had just finished the service. And so I had not submitted the death claim yet because I didn't want them emailing her, right? And so yesterday we sat down, we started going through everything. She had gotten me the death certificate, right? So I did all of that, handled all of it. And I said, listen, Kim, like you don't need to do anything. I'm going to do all the paperwork. It's all going to be handled, but we have some things that we need to like put in place. He had this policy. He had his VGLI, which we're going to talk about today, because he hadn't gotten to that age yet, quite where it was too expensive to like really think about getting rid of. So it's options, right? He also had his work life insurance policy. So he had three, and they all paid, or they're all going to pay, I should say. So now coming out of that, she's sitting on close to $1 million in life insurance benefits. Who do you think she's going to trust with that money to make sure it sticks around? Me, because I've been there since day one, and I'm going to walk her through it, and I'm going to give her options. Okay. So look, we're going to get the energy back up. Don't worry. Don't you worry. I got all the caffeine in me right now. We are going to get the energy back up. But I need you to remember, and I need you to understand, this is not about an incentive. This ain't about a effing t-shirt. This is not about a trip to the Bahamas. At the end of the day, your job is to someday pay a death claim. Someday be there to ease a burden. And look, nothing can replace someone. No check in the world is big enough to replace somebody's spouse or child or parent. That's not we don't expect it to do that. It's to ease that transition, right? She hasn't worked in 3 years because she was there to take Jay to chemo appointments and do all these things. She's like, I'm gonna have to go back to work. I said, Kim, you don't have to do anything. We're going to structure this money so you don't have to do anything. Oh, by the way, there's some things you need to go talk to his veteran services like officer because you have something called a DIC coming to you. Jay had been retired for a long time. You should have about $2,000 a month coming tax free. That's your mortgage and all of your other like bills. You're going to be okay. She goes, "Oh my God, I forgot about that." She's like, "I don't know. I probably need like 4 or 5 grand a month." I said, well, half that's taken care of. So listen, guys, in a world of amateurs, be a professional, please, because This ish is serious. This is real life. This is people's money. This is these are death claims, right? How many of you guys watched that video of Jimmy Meyer, that little like 2 minute clip that Andy put in the book bag this morning? Better yet, okay. I know a lot of you who didn't. Who didn't watch it? Who didn't watch that? Because if you didn't, I'll recap it for you here real fast. Right? People come into this business, people come into the business and they go, that ish don't work, right? That don't work. And they think we owe them something and we think it's our job to make them successful, right? Other people come in and they submit to the system and they just see what happens. And then you get to the best case, worst case sort of scenario, right? And you're going to have people that say, oh, that company, right? You need to get into a real insurance company or a real thing, right? Jimmy Meyer's dad knew a guy who ran an insurance company, and they said, man, Dick, get your kid out of there. If he wants to get into insurance, have him come with me. That company don't pay death claims. And then that guy went to Jim, right, his dad, and said, hey, your company don't pay death claims. Jim's a young kid. Jimmy Meyer got into the business at like 23, 24, maybe even younger. I don't know. And he goes, we don't? He's brand new, right? So what is it like? And listen, great line. You don't have to have brains on top. Y'all, you need brains on tap right here. It's like one of those ASMR videos that my kids watch, right? Freaking unboxing ass stupid shit, right? You need them on tap. You need something, call me. You need something, call your leader. You don't know, they don't know, they're gonna call somebody else on tap, right? So he calls his guy and says, hey, we don't pay death claims. And he goes, whoa, 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 slow down, Jack. What death? Whose death claim did we not pay? And he goes, I don't know. He's like, well, don't you think that's an important question to ask? Yeah. So he's back to his dad and says, Dad, whose death claim did we not pay? What do you think he said? I don't know. Right? Listen, guys, in the beginning, if you don't have the answer to something and someone asks you a question, it is very easy to get rattled. Yeah? Because you're like, he asked me a question. Oh God. And you start spazzing out. If you don't know the answer to a question, don't lie to somebody. If you don't know the answer to the question, be like, dude, I don't know. I'm brand new. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Let me call somebody. It's that easy. All right. It's that easy. Literally. You don't need them on top. Well, eventually, I would argue you do, right? You need some on top. But in the beginning, especially, you need them on tap. You need to be comfortable enough to own the fact that you may not know the answer to the question and then ask. And then ask. That's it. All right. That is it. So, how many of you guys have ever sat down with a client that was either active military or separated, retired, something? They have some sort of military connection. How many of you guys? Keep going. I'm curious. There's 48 sites outside of me on here right now, right? I have one today. Adam, you're welcome. I'm about to bless your life. Okay. So that's at least a third of you, right? Oh, Desiree, congratulations. If you're military and you haven't sat down with military clients yet, you just haven't been here long enough. And I don't know your name, so I'm guessing you're brand new. But well,
Absolutely brand new.
but welcome. Awesome. Hey, listen, for those of you that don't know me and you are brand new, I'm Noah. I'm one of the regional vice presidents. I'm the third owner, right? Outside of Andy and Jessica, we have full ownership. I am a retired Army officer. Spent most of my time inside of the special ops community. That is my old flight helmet right there, right? I'm a Chinook pilot. Well, used to be, right? Now I fly this awesome desk. But listen, in the military market, you are going to run into people who are skeptical, right? They're a little bit standoffish. And if you're coming into that market without a fairly like deep knowledge of how their things work, and you're not bringing some value to that conversation, you're not likely getting in. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. You either need to be military or have a very, very credible source that you're bringing to that conversation and to that person. Otherwise, the 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 analogy with that is like imagine me going down to South Beach in Miami and trying to sell life insurance in that market. No habla. It ain't happening. Does it make sense? The market serves the market. So you either have to have massive credibility, or if I were going to go down there, I need a translator. And I need a translator who has credibility in that market and who is trusted. Okay. So if you're coming into that, just know that you're already up against a little bit of a hurdle because military people are very skeptical, right? We, it's just how we're trained, right? It's just reality. And so come in prepared, right? Come into this thing prepared. I'm going to hit a couple of incentives really fast because even though you've seen it 1,000 times, we need to talk about it. Okay. We need to talk about it. Look, the replay that I just showed you was from an ECBS a year and a half ago. Listen, you need a freaking ticket. If put in the Zoom chat, who does not have a ticket yet? Who doesn't have a ticket yet? Because everybody in here should have a ticket. So you're telling me every single person, unless my chat froze, every 50 sites have a ticket already? I don't believe it. I would love to be wrong, but I don't believe it. Look, guys, you need a ticket, whether you come in person or not. The live stream is available. The replay is available forever, right? Nikisha, girl, you plug in too dang much to miss this freaking thing. Scan the ticket, scan the code. It's going to go up next month. The price is going to go up on August 1st. Look, you owe it to yourself. You literally owe it to yourself. If you are here and you are a glutton for punishment and you plug into this every single day and you are not planning to at least watch ECBS, guys, that's incongruous. It doesn't make sense, right? Why would you not plug into an event like this where you're going to have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, $8 million earners plus? Some of them 2 million. Assad, 2 million plus. Hector, God only knows, right? Why would you not at least give yourself a shot to plug in? I don't care if you buy a ticket or not. I truly don't. But you should care because it's your business. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your business. And if you're not willing to invest in your business, think anybody else is? Come on, come on. Gotta wake up. Gotta wake up. All right, look, what else is going on right now when it comes to all of these freaking incentives? I mean, hold on. I can't even zoom in on this thing, but look at this. Yes, I can. I can do whatever I want. Look at this. Oh, the graphic is cool, but this is what you need to see. Look, guys, if you're coming, right? If you're coming to ECBS and you miss this party, you are gonna kick yourself square in your fourth point of contact. Matt Rivera, if you don't close an app and get your one by one, I'm gonna make fun of you all weekend. I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be so for real. I'm gonna send you selfies like every 3 minutes from the party while you're back at the house or you're somewhere else. I am going to be relentlessly brutal. Okay. Look, 3 apps, 600 AP minimum each. That's 1,800 in premium. You do one max case and a little baby app. There you go. 3 apps is cool. I'm basing it off the premium for my base. I'll tell you right now. You do 2 apps and you hit 1,800, you're in. I'm good, right? The way that's going to work though, when the link comes out and you've earned the right to buy your t-shirt, we will send you the link individually. You buy your t-shirt, you send me the receipt, I'll pay you back. Because then I don't have to worry about it getting shipped to me and shipping it back to you. And I have boxes of crap over here still that gets shipped to the office that then we have to like turn around and reship, right? Everybody clear on that? If you earn the right to purchase it, you're going to purchase it, and then you're going to send your RVP or receipt, and then we are going to pay you back. Everybody cool on that? Cool. Look, 5 apps, right? 5 apps, 600 AP minimum. What does that also equal? Total premium would be, drum roll please, 3,000 AP. 3,000 AP. Look, I'm also pretty flexible. If you're not coming in person and you don't want a shirt, but you do these things, right? I'm gonna pay for your ECBS ticket. I want you to at least be able to watch. All right. Look, airfare. Who's coming in person that would want $300 of their airfare reimbursed? Yeah, cool. Go right, 10K in premium, right? Some of you might have missed it because you came on late. What did Charlemont say if you're brand new in the beginning in the business? What should you be doing every week? One direct and 2,000 in premium. One direct and 2,000 in premium will keep you in business long enough to build a team. I'm telling you. All right? I'm telling you. And look, 15,000, like Andy was nice. He didn't even double it, right? He didn't even double it. He could have said, if you want your partners there for coverage, you can do 20K in personal, but he didn't. He said 15, right? And just so you guys know, all the RVPs have to agree on this. Your RVP individually for your base shop is responsible for these reimbursements to you. This is not coming from Andy, unless you're part of Andy's base, unless you're the OG base. Everybody clear on that? Cool. Check this out. It is never going to be easier, ever. It is never going to be easier. So look, if you're brand new in the business or you've been around forever, let me change the zoom on this just a little, because I want to be able to make sure we see the bottom because I want this to be clear, right? If you're brand new in the business or you've been around forever, if you're licensed, what is going on? What just happened? Hang on. Stand by. There we go. All right. Hey, listen, Megan, congratulations. Hey, guys, everybody give Megan Sachs some love. She was appointed this morning. She was on her like sixth and final attempt in South Carolina. If you didn't know, if you take the life exam and fail it 6 times in South Carolina, you have to wait 1 year before the state will let you test again. Guys, I was worried. She had been hitting like 64, 63, like, and she had this fortune cookie and it said something big's coming Friday. And she said, that's a sign. I'm booking my test for Friday. And she went out and she smoked the damn thing. She smoked it, right? And here she is. And now today she's appointed. Okay. So Megan, look, no time like the present, girl. No time like the present. Look, one personal recruit, you already got that done. One life app. Boom. You come down, you come to the party. Okay. 3 apps. Look, you got your boyfriend, and you got other people that you got on that list. You need to go write 3 apps and earn a shirt. Just go prove that you can do it. Even if you're not coming, I don't care. Go prove that you can do it. Go prove that you can do it. But check this out. You're at a 25% commission contract, bro. Look, we need to get you promoted. You need to get yourself promoted. You with me? Look, you go write one big app, one app of 1,200 or more, I'm gonna promote you. Or because what I showed you the other day when we sat down and went through that sort of like mock appointment for you. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, guys, like you can go on appointments with your people and not close, especially if they're about to be appointed and they're way outside of a bonus window, right? It's a like be a trainer. Be a trainer. Look, 2 apps of 600 AP or more. Right? Megan, look, you go write those 2 apps, you're gonna get promoted and you're gonna get paid. Then, then wait for it, right? You go write one more big app, right? You go get in front of like your mom, your dad, somebody a little bit older, maybe needs a little bit more coverage. As long as it's $100 a month, what's 100 times 12? What's 100 times 12? 1,200, 1,200, right? Now you're at a district contract. Now you're at a 50% commission forever. Forever, right? Guys, you're at a 50% commission contract forever on average. What are you making per client? 500. So look, listen, we're going to get into the military stuff, I promise, right? But you need to be reminded of how powerful this is, especially for your people that have been around for a minute. How many of you guys have people right now that are licensed, that are with you, but are way outside of a bonus window, and they're maybe sitting, hell, they might even be still sitting at a rep level contract. They're at a 25% contract or at a 35% contract. If you have people in that situation, here's your talk track. Here's your talk track. Terry, girl, listen, this is you got a shot right now at getting promoted forever, and it's never going to be easier. Terry, you're at a 35% commission contract. How would you like to get to 50? What do you think she's going to say?
Show me how.
Well, yeah, I know, but I got to run the numbers and I got to do this and I got to do that. No, Terry, listen, one app, girl, one app. You go write one solid app, somebody paying $100 a month, or sit down with somebody who's married and do two. Do two little baby ones, $50 a month. Same, 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 right? Look, if you ask me from an RVP standpoint, I want the two baby apps because the two apps are going to help QBI more and persistency and the whole thing. But listen, premium right now is premium. I don't care where you get it. Do both. Do both. Adam, you would love to be at 50%. Adam, are you licensed? Hell yeah, bro. Now, listen, if you walk in, right? If you walk into these appointments today that you guys have, and you got that commission breath and it's stinking and you're chasing the money, people can smell it. Look, your posture is different. Your heart posture is different. Everything's different when you're chasing the money. Don't you dare. What does something do when you chase it? Anybody ever chase a dog? You ever try to chase a chicken? Like Rocky? It's gonna run. You need to be the same. You need to come in and be there to show value. If you show value, a client's gonna move forward. All right. So listen, I s- I had a freaking presentation on this and I thought I had put it in band and I thought I had it in my Google Drive. It's gone. I I don't know. Maybe it's on my old computer and it didn't move to my Mac, but it's gone. So we're gonna do this old school. We're just gonna talk, right? I'll draw some pictures. I do have one chart I'll share with you. It's the current VGLI rates, but I don't know where it went. So saddle up because here we go. Listen, when you're sitting down with anyone, are you ever trying to replace their work life insurance? No, no. Why? Because it's either free or it's so cheap, it might as well be free. Listen, keep it. But can I ask you a question? Are you going to work there forever? And what do you think everyone says? Guys, most of the time it's not just no, most of the time it's hell no. I can't wait to leave here. Hey, listen, I totally get it. So when you leave there, John, what's going to happen to all of your benefits? Oh, by the way, if you ask a question, you should probably shut up and then let them answer. Just saying, right? Yeah, it's probably going to be gone. Or they're going to say, I don't know. I sat down with somebody's mom yesterday and we were talking about it, and she goes, I don't know. She's been in the same company for like 25 plus years, right? Same company for 25 plus years. And she goes, you know what? I don't know. I said, Don't you think that's something that you probably should know? She goes, yeah, you're right. That's kind of weird. She's like, do I get to keep my 401k? I said, oh, yeah, 100%. That's yours, right? That's like the one thing that I can promise you is yours. I don't know how your work stuff works, but can I explain to you how generally it works when you leave your job? Just generally. She goes, well, yeah. I said, awesome. Look, whatever you have at work, generally, that's a benefit. When you leave the group and you leave the group benefit, do you think you get to keep it? No, I mean, your 401k is not a group benefit, right? It's yours. So that's why you get to keep it. But your health insurance, your life insurance, all your other things that come with being a part of the group, when you leave the group, you leave them behind. And then let them marinate on that for a second because that's what it's gonna that like you have to have them make that realization, but that's why you have to ask the question because if you're telling you're what? Somebody in the Zoom chat, please. If it rhymes, it's easy. There you go. Shocking that Casey Morris is the first one to put that in there. If you're telling, you're selling, right? So listen, guys, with military clients, you're gonna have people in like various stages, right? So let's get back to the main thing, right? We got 30 minutes. Main thing, the main thing. With military clients, you've got people that are active duty. They're in right now. They're either going to stay for a while, they're going to make it a career, or whatever. Okay. They're not changing anything anytime soon. You have people that have been in for a while that may be getting out soon. And you have people that are retired and then somewhere along that continuum, right? You're going to have people in all like various phases. The biggest thing to understand is understanding what they have. All right. And so I have one little like chart here, and this is gonna be talking about what they have when they leave. Okay. And then I will go back and I will explain what they have while they're there. So you have both. And everybody relax. I will send you this, right? I will put it in Wolfpack. I will put it in band. So it will be out there for you guys. So VGLI, this is Veterans Group Life Insurance. This is after. Okay. This is somebody who's been in the military, left the military, and took this, right? They said, yep, I want it, I'm gonna take it. The nice thing about VGLI is that it doesn't care about your health. It doesn't care about your nicotine use. It doesn't care about your height, weight. It only cares about your age. It doesn't care about your gender either. Okay. And so if you take like if so like for me, right? I retired and I was 44, 43, turning 44. Okay. And then so my VGLI at the time, right? Still right now today was only $70 a month for half a million. Not bad, right? So I took it. I said yes. Why? Because I like options. Okay. You want to bring people options, guys. You want to give people options. People like options. So it's guaranteed. As long as they take it within the first 7 months of them leaving the military, they can't be declined. There's no medical check, there's no nothing. You just say yep and you pay. Pretty damn easy, right? Now, the most that they can have though is whatever their SGLI, the service members group life insurance, was while they were active duty. For most people right now, a half a million on the service member is $30 a month. Is cheap as hell. It's cheap while they're part of the group. When they leave the group, they leave the price. You with me? Now, VGLI is not like SGLI. SGLI, as long as you're in, the price is the price. $30 a month. You could be 18 brand new, or you could be 65 and still kicking along, right? In the friggin' National Guard, doing your thing until they're gonna force you to retire. It doesn't care. But when you leave and you have to transition to this, if this is your only option, you're going to pay the price based on your age. So let's look at that really quick. right? Let's look at that really quick because it varies and you can have it in $10,000 increments. The rates from 25 were the rates of 26, right? They didn't change. They carried over. Ironically, they went down from 2024, which is super weird. That I've never seen that before, right? But look what happens. Look what happens as you get older, right? My buddy Bill from Natchitoches. Bill, how old are you? Throw in the Zoom chat for me. Drum roll, please. 66, right? Oh, cassette. Okay, well, thank you. Bill, if you were a veteran and you were and you're your age right now and you were wanting to maintain your $500,000 in life insurance, do you think you'd be comfortable paying almost $690 a month, Bill? I mean, I'm no math magician, but probably not, right? Probably not. But if I could have given you a policy when you got out of the military back in your early 40s or whatever, and you could have been paying the same price for 35 years and it would have taken you into your 70s, almost to 80, and it would have been maybe like $100 a month, wouldn't that have made sense? Don't you wish you would have known? If you could still be paying $100 a month right now for $500,000 in life insurance and the price would have never changed on you, wouldn't you at least want to know? Yeah, awesome. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. That's what we're going to talk about today. Because, guys, if you're, especially if you're sitting in front of a young person, right? Even at this range right here, even at this range, can you compete on price? Should you even be trying to compete on price? Hell no. No, right? You need to understand what's going to happen. Okay. You need to understand what's going to happen. So let's come down here. Your max coverage, like I said, is equivalent to what you left. Like if because you can control it. Like if you're in the army and you don't want to pay 30 bucks and you only want like 50,000 in coverage, you can roll that thing all the way down to 50 grand. That's the minimum. And you're going to pay like $4 a month. But then when you separate, the most you can have in VGLI is 50 grand. Okay. Look, every 5 years, based on your age, the cost is going to go up. You can't control it. It's going to go up. Okay. And it also only covers the service member. VGLI does not cover spouses or children. So, like right now, if somebody's active duty, right? Who is my active duty person? Denise? No, D-Nice? I'm just playing. Desiree, thank you. Samsonite. It's way off. Somebody gets the joke. All right. So Desiree, so your spouse is active duty. You, Desiree, do you have kids?
Yes, we have a 4-year-old.
Beautiful. Desiree, did you know that under FSGLI, the Family Service Members Group Life Insurance, you have $100,000 in life insurance and your husband's paying maybe like $7 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. Your kids, whether it's one kid or 19, right? They're all going to be covered for $10,000 for free. That's what you have while you're in. When he leaves the military, because someday he will, your life insurance as a spouse and the coverage on the kids, gone. There is no conversion option. It doesn't exist. There is no VSGLI. It doesn't exist, right? Don't you think service members would want to know that when they separate, their spouse and children are no longer covered? I would want to know. There is no conversion. There is no automatic transition thing for your spouse and your children. There is for the service member, but not them. Okay. When you when you think about it like that, there's also another component to the family life insurance side of it is that, well, 10,000 on the kids is something is better than nothing. But in most cases, what's a funeral cost? Anybody know? Anybody looked recently? 10K minimum, right? For a kid, you could probably get away with it. But when you think about like a spouse only having $100,000 in coverage, it's better than nothing. Don't get me wrong. But when you think about replacing what a spouse does, especially if she works or he works, right? Replacing their income, or God forbid, if it's a stay-at-home parent and now that person's gone, the other spouse has to figure out childcare, right? They busy. Somebody probably needs to clean. You might need someone to cook. So you probably either need some form of like an au pair or like full-time nanny, or you need somebody from a family to help out a lot. Regardless of how it gets done, do you think it's free? So I would argue and I would offer to you honestly that even though most military members with a 500,000 have decent coverage, it's pretty solid, right? The spouse and the children are underinsured drastically. Also, when you think about replacing income, if that stay-at-home mom, if that's what she's got going on, right? If the spouse dies, did you know that if they live on post, that spouse does not get to stay on post? Like they don't get to stay in military housing. They have to leave. They have a period of time, not much, but they got to go. So now you got to find a house. Your whole life is upside down, right? 500,000 in coverage is something, but it may not be enough. It may not be enough. Use the mobile F&A, guys. Let it walk you through that. Even like a young E4 or E5 equivalent like pay is probably somewhere around 60 to 65,000 a year when you include their allowance for housing and subsistence, right? Food money, that sort of thing, right? So if you do 10, 12x their coverage, especially if they're young, they probably need at least 750,000 to replace their income, but they just never thought about it. But let the system show it. Let the system show it to them, right? Hey, listen, right? As long as you're in, you've got a 500,000, that's something, but you would agree we just showed you, like the system just showed you that you're still a little bit underinsured. Look, we're not trying to replace your SGLI. It's great, dude. It's so cheap. Never get rid of it as long as you can keep it. But if we can show you, right? If we can show you something that you can have for the next 35 years and the price never changes, wouldn't it at least make sense to look at it? Right? Like Desiree, how old are you and your spouse?
I'm 23, he's 24.
Okay, he's 24. Is he going to stay is he Army, Navy?
Yes, he's
Ar-
Army, and
Beautiful.
he's actually going to be getting out in 2029.
Okay. So it's almost like I planned it, right? So when he gets out in 2029, do you think that he's going to be healthier then than he is right now?
No,
Okay. We would both agree he's probably not going to be any younger, right?
yeah, 100%.
Okay, yeah, we can't change, like we can't reverse the clock. So if he's going to be older, and we both agree he's likely to not be as healthy because we know we're not like designed to get healthier as we get older. How much like do you think his life insurance then is going to be more expensive or less expensive?
More.
Way more. So Desiree, if we could show him something that's level, the price never changes, and we can get it now while it's as cheap as it's ever going to be, wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to explain to him.
Perfect. So what I would argue for you is don't you try to explain it. Let one of us do it.
Yeah, we actually have a appointment set with John, I think on Saturday.
Beautiful, right? Oh, by the way, John asked me to do this. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, he sent me a message and said, "Hey, Noah's gonna help with the military stuff," and I was like, "Yay, I'm so excited."
I know. Listen, guys, I don't override John. I've never made a penny off of John, but he asked me for help, and I said, "You got it, buddy," because that's what we do. This is a freaking team, and I'm the expert, and I'm teaching you, right? That's the point. Look, you don't need him on top. Where do you need him? On tap. Proud of John because he asked for freaking help. He said, "Bro, you got 5 minutes?" I said, "I'm in between. Give me seven. I'll get right back to you." And I called him back. What do you need? I need help. I got you. I'm running with Pack Thursday. Tell everybody get their butts on. I'll do it for you. Here we go, right? So look, my recommendation to everyone that's in the military, sooner rather than later. Look, y'all, military life is crazy. We are exposed to all sorts of crap. We sometimes we don't even know what we're exposed to. I swear, like I've had like 9, 10, like 11 different like rounds of anthrax for deployments. I don't know what that stuff does to me. I probably won't know for another 15 years. But I tell you, it ain't good. I'm just saying, look, it ain't good, right? I'm healthy right now, right? Who knows? I'm healthy right now. But here's the other way to think about this. Look, when you go to separate, when the military guys go to separate, they are going to start telling the truth about their medical. Look, I was in for over 20 years and I did not tell the truth to a doctor ever, unless I absolutely had to. Why? I was a pilot. I was in a special operations unit. If I start telling the truth about stuff medically, I'm in a position where I might get grounded and I can't fly. I might get if I'm grounded and I can't fly, I'm no longer that much value add. I mean, I would be, but like not as much as I should be. I risk losing my flight pay. I risk losing my licenses. Guys, we military, we don't tell the truth to doctors. We lie. We go to our buddy who's the medic and say, "Bro, give me that Motrin. Give me that thing. Give me," right? Hey, go to the clinic and get me that Toradol shot. My back's out. Give me those muscle relaxers. Guys, I went to my PA one time after a really bad jump. Like we should not have jumped. The winds were way out of tolerance, and we all got like bad. Like me, my battalion commander, like all the other company command. It was bad. Like like flying backwards, the wind was so strong. I mean, they teach you how to land backwards, but we were still going way too fast. Like I walked in, I said, "George, I'm pretty sure I got a concussion." And he goes, "You sure about that?" This is my doctor. You sure you got a concussion? I was like, no, but my head is, bro, is ringing, and I'm wearing sunglasses indoors right now because the light is freaking killing me. And I had to lay on the ground for like 4 or 5 minutes. The medics actually came over and were like, "Sir, are you okay?" And he's like, "If you think you got a concussion, brother, I'll put it in, but I got to send you home for 3 days. I got to document it. You're gonna have to go see neuro. You're gonna." I was like, "Yep, I don't got a concussion. I ain't got time for that. I'm getting ready to deploy. I'm getting that last jump in so I can reset my jump clock for another 3 months." I didn't start telling the truth until I had decided that I was going to retire. And now my medical record went from like to eh, because everything that I had not been telling the truth about, I am now telling the truth about. If you tried to like get me insured right now on paper, it ain't happening. It is not happening. Because if you look through all my records, right? Concussions, PTSD, TBI, anxiety, depression, sleep apnea. There's, and then, I mean, all the other like musculoskeletal stuff, none of that really matters. But the chronic pain and like pain injections that I've had for that, guys, I'm getting declined like instant decline. Like you submitted COD, it's coming back decline that same night. That's how bad it is because of what's in my record, right? You need, but I'm already approved. We got it done before any of that stuff was actually documented, so we didn't lie on the application. Every year since I've had my policy, Primerica's given me another 50,000 in coverage with no questions asked and no table ratings and none. That's why it's important to get covered before you tell the truth about everything. Oh, by the way, wouldn't you rather be covered a couple years too early than a couple days too late? Yeah, 100%. 100%, right? And so, like Desiree, for you guys, if he's going to get out in 2029 and he's 24 now, that's 3 years, right? Watch this. If he's going to get out in 2029 and he's still going to be under 29, his life insurance is going to be 30 bucks a month for 500,000. Take that stuff. Take it. Take it and keep it all the way until, well, whenever we know prices are going to be, like whatever they're going to be, because they change every year, right? But if assuming they never changed, keep it for the next 20 freaking years. It's gonna pay, right? Not that I like Prudential because they beat us last year. They were number one, we were number two in new life insurance, but it's gonna pay. God forbid something happens, it's going to pay, right? Keep it though. Keep this is your one that you can get rid of because you know it's going to get more expensive. But if I could show you something right now that's going to be the same price for the next 35 years, right? By the time he's 57, right? Instead of paying a couple $100 a month at that point, if you're still paying like 75 or something, wouldn't it make sense to have something that never changed in price? Yeah, it would. And oh, by the way, when he's 57, 58, almost 60, right? And that term is about to be up, if he still needs coverage, we'll just renew it and he can never be declined, right? But remember, do we just do life insurance, guys? No, we don't. We do life insurance, right? So we buy term and what? We buy term and invest. Okay. So let's just do real numbers real fast. I'm not even worried about investing the difference right now, guys. I'm just saying just buy term and invest. Because if they're not looking at like a whole life policy or anything like that, there may not be a difference for you to compare with. So don't get hung up on that. Just say buy term and invest, right? Look at this. He's 24, 500,000 in coverage is 78 bucks a month. If he's 24 and relatively healthy, there's a good chance he comes back cheaper. Even if he just comes back a little bit cheaper, 71 bucks a month, right? Well, look, wouldn't you want to know that you could have something that would be cheaper forever, right? Obviously, it's not cheaper compared to this. I'm not saying get rid of this, keep that. But now you've got 1 million in coverage, and God forbid something happens to you, your family is completely taken care of. Do you think that your family could survive and be okay with 1 million in coverage? Me too. Me too. Right? And then let's look at for the ladies. So Desiree, 23, 35-year term. Look, even Desiree, even if you did no medical exam, what? Why is this freaking out? Oh, look, even if you did no medical exam, you could be covered for 43 bucks for 250,000. That's 2.5 times what you have right now, right? If you're feeling froggy and you're like, hey, I ain't scared of needles, right? Let's do a medical exam. Let's put the waiver premium on. Look, at a young age, guys, the cost difference between waiver or excuse me, between precision and power, it's negligible. For most young people, I just do the power term, right? Why? Because most young people are irresponsible, they're flaky, they probably ain't going to do it. And oh, by the way, drum roll please, they're probably going to get automatically approved. Real-time underwriting. Let it happen. Let them see it. Let them see a cool green check mark. Oh, by the way, they could get automatically approved and it could come back cheaper. But even if it doesn't come back cheaper, it was already pretty damn cheap. It was already pretty damn cheap, right? So look, what's the difference? $6? That's a nitro cold brew at Starbucks. Nothing even fancy. You ain't even getting froth or foam or flavors. It's straight up cold brew. How do I know? Because that's what I drink. It's like five something. One coffee. Who cares? Right? Look, let's cover the kids. Desiree, you guys done having kids? You just want one and done? Probably
We're
not.
talking about having another one.
Good. So when you talk about having another one and the baby's 5 days old, we're going to add them straight to the policy, covered automatically. Price doesn't change. Wouldn't you want to know that your future kids could be covered for free?
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. Listen, no, none of you have ever said that line like that before, have you? Wouldn't you want to know that your future kids could be covered for free? Ooh. John, I can see it. I can see it in Honey's face. That line is fire. You know why I know you've never said it before? Because I just made it up. Come on. Somebody better write that down.
We
Wouldn't
do
you want to
have,
know that your future kids could be covered for free?
that's
Right.
good. We started using, we've got a young lady with us that actually had that happen to her. Her dad had a Primerica life insurance policy and passed away. So we've got that now in the hierarchy. But I like that. That's fire, Noah, right there. Come on. If y'all don't go back and watch this again, you're gonna miss some sales. You're gonna miss helping families. There's gonna be lots of death benefits on this. Like, hey, and it's just facts. Now, when I talk about this on the phone, suicide is a tough deal in the military. It is. And this is one thing where we stand out against all other policies in that area. After 2 years, we take care of the family.
So good point on that, John, right? And this goes for every kind of life insurance, not just ours. 2 years is what you would consider the contestability period. Okay. Outside of 2 years, game over. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter why the person passes away, how, when, right? As long as the policy is in force, it says incontestable, meaning it doesn't matter. The policy is going to pay. Okay. The last two death claims that I've done, well, first of all, my first two death claims in the business ever, children, child riders. This one, substantially, right? 250,000. And it was only 250,000 because when we submitted his application, he came back table rated. It was like the precursors of his cancer, and we didn't even know. But he goes, you know what? Doesn't matter. It makes sense. I'm going to keep my VGLI. We're going to revisit when I when I turn 55, which was this year. We're going to revisit and we'll look at it. And if it's too expensive, we'll get rid of it. Thank God he didn't. Our living benefits are pretty cool, right? So is VGLI. He took 200 grand out of his policy and they lived off of that for the last 2 years while he was doing all of his chemo, while he was going back and forth to all the experimental treatments, right? So look, guys, I know we talk about VGLI and we say, hey, it's expensive. It's not great. It's it's not great if you have other options. But if it's the only option, it is what it is, right? But that's why you got to get in front of people and you got to teach them so that they understand their options. Okay. They got to understand the options. Put someone in position to get approved when they're as young and healthy as they're ever going to be. Ever. Guys, I've had so many of my friends come to me too late and be like, oh man, I'm ready. Let's get that life insurance app in. I'm like, listen, dumbass, I tried to talk to you 2 years ago, and now you've been through every like VA appointment and medical record thing. And look, my job is take the app. I'm gonna take the app, but I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. On paper, you look like shit. I don't care that you can still run a like 15-minute 2 mile and you're at like 9% body fat because you're bored and all you do is work out. I don't care. On paper, you look like shit because you finally told the truth. Guys, you got to get them before they open Pandora's box and put it all on paper, before it's documented. Look, I tell people, look, it's like a court of law. What can you prove, right? If you've got a bunch of ailments and all these things and you're WebMD in it and you got like all the itises, hey, listen, I'm sorry you're dealing with that, but is it documented? Is that on paper? Have you and your doctor like had a diagnosis for that? Are you getting treatment for that? Oh, no, not yet, but this is what I'm dealing with. Perfect. Listen, we need to get you covered before it turns into something real. Is that fair? Awesome. Look, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to submit the application so we can apply and see how it comes back. Sound good? Perfect. Who do you want your beneficiary to be? Guys, that's the talk track. That's it. Like that's it. You got the A diagram up, you're walking through it. Listen, I know this looks like a bad football play, but it makes sense. Am I right? Awesome. The application process is super easy. Takes like 15 minutes. We do it with DocuSign. You've done a DocuSign before? Awesome. What we're going to do today is we're just going to apply so we can see how it comes back. Sound good? Awesome. Who do you want your beneficiary to be? If you're sitting with spouses, and you should be, you can just make the joke, right? Look, Andy, look, you want Brittany as your beneficiary? Awesome. Brittany, Andy's going to be your beneficiary until he pisses you off, right? We have this little thing, it's called revocable. You can change it whenever you want. Sound good? That's the assumptive close. And then you're pulling it up. You're not asking, what do they think? You're not asking, right? My assumption is that I've explained it so well, you don't have questions. When I'm done with the A diagram, I don't say, hey, so what do you think? Hey, what are your questions? Hey, I know it looks like a bad football play, right? But it kind of makes sense. It's pretty simple when you think about the application process. Am I right? That is the same thing mentally as asking them, what do you think? Do you have any questions? Without triggering them to say, hmm, I don't know, Noah. Let me think about it. Because if you ask someone what they think, that's exactly what's going to happen. You got to lead them to the next step. It's the assumptive close. What we're going to do today is, you guys remember the little like old like sing-songy things with the bouncing ball? I'm gonna freaking put that up so you can see it in the background. What we're going to do today is, that's what's happening. Like that's what you have to do. And that's how sure you have to be going into that appointment, right? Listen, guys, you need to get in front of your people today. It is Thursday, the 30th. What day is month end? It ain't tomorrow. 30, 31, 1, 2, 3. So you have 5 days. And you got to the 9th for cash, right? We got over 10 days of July cash still. You got a third of the month for July cash still, right? But you've got 5 days for the incentives, for the reset for the Bahamas, for the promotions, the one app promotions, for the t-shirt, for the party. Guys, if you don't personally have a one by one yet, you need to go prove it to yourself. You need to just go get in front of somebody and knock it out and rip the band-aid and remind yourself that you can close. And if you're not sure, phone a friend. Bring somebody to the appointment. 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. If you're unsure if you're going to close it or not, call somebody. Call your upline. And if they don't answer, go up above that. And if they don't answer, go up above that. And then keep going until somebody picks up the dang phone. Guys, listen, something is better than nothing. Worst thing that happens is you bring somebody to the appointment, somebody else sees a ton of value, you get split, you get retrained, right? In the military, we call that getting reblued. You just sort of like get brought back up to speed. Come on, here we go. One by one, one by one. one by one, guys. Look, that's where it starts. But you got to get in front of the people. If you've got recruits, because we got a whole like batch of brand new people, right? If you got some recruits, you've got a pipeline. John, you got 70 some odd brand new people. There's no reason that you guys should not hit your numbers this month. Period. Right? You're too good. You guys are too good at showing value. You just got to get in front of some more people. Help your people set some appointments, guys. If they're not sure who to call, remake their list. If they don't know, make the list again. Make the list again, right? Pull up their old list and be like, hey, we didn't call Frank, John, Bob, and they'll be like, oh, well, I texted them. That's what they're gonna say. I messaged them. That's exactly what they're gonna say. What should they have done? Called them. Hey, Roseanne, I got, can are you free right now? You got 5 minutes? It's way easier if I just call you. Yeah, what's up? Ring. There you go. There you go. Because if they respond to a text, what's in their hand? Call it. Call it. Man, I'm working on some financial licensing, right? I got to get in front of some people. I got to show you what we're doing. This is too good for you to not see. When can you give me 30 minutes on a Zoom call? This is too good for you to not see. I've learned so much. I need you to see it. That's conviction though. And if they haven't seen it for themselves, do you think they're really going to make that call? Guys, your people, I promise you, like if I pulled your recruit tracker up right now, I'm going to see 0 by 0. And if it's not 0 by 0, it's like 1 by $0. Why? What does that tell me? It tells me that they haven't even looked at their own yet, or maybe they're not in market because they're single. I don't know. Either way, it means they haven't gotten in the field. Your job is to train and introduce the player to the game. And that's it. All right, guys. I'm out. I'm 3 minutes over. I apologize. Get out of here. Look, go set some appointments. Call your people. Look, even if they're just like one-on-ones, call your people. Call your people. Call with conviction. Hey, man, we just got off this crazy training with Noah. Like, can you give me like 5 minutes? We need to talk. Be convicted. Call them. Show them some value. Get in front of somebody. Guys, we are too good as a team to have the numbers that we're having right now. We're too good. You're too good. So let's go
Transfer me
crush
some
this thing.
money one
All right.
For what?
for some wood.
I don't know who that
You
is,
can't pay for
but
the wood?
we're gonna
Robin,
mute
I
you.
need
Robin, typical. Unbelievable. All right, guys. Love you. Gotta go. Bye.